The great thing about this campus and this center is that it was truly community-driven in the sense that the community identified the need, and so Morehead State then responded to that need. But it was driven by the citizens, and it was driven by the people, by the government leaders, the business leaders, the leaders of the education leaders, the school system, the hospital.
Back in the early 2000s when this campus was built, the foresight and the strategic planning that was evident has really come to fruition now.
When I was out recruiting so many years ago, one of the things that students would tell us that sometimes they may have been enrolled at a larger university is they wanted to come to Mount Sterling's campus. Number one, you can get a parking spot. Number two, the safety. Number three, it was just a better fit for their learning style and for their life needs at that time.
The nursing program here is a lot different than it is on campus. It's smaller classes, it's more one-on-one. I tend to gravitate towards the smaller groups and the smaller classes. Even now in my career as a nurse, I work at a small community hospital, and it's the same type of feel, like a small town. You pass somebody in the hallway and you know who they are, and that's how it feels here at MSU Mount Sterling.
I think the students are close, and what I tell them is that we're training them to be our colleagues, but also they're networking with each other, and so they make friendships or at least professional connections with each other that they can carry on long after they graduate.
I loved coming to this campus. At first I was a little bit disappointed because I thought I wasn't going to get that main campus experience, but it turned out to be so much better than I expected because the classes were a lot smaller and we got to have that really close-knit group together. The professors got to have that one-on-one experience with us, and it just felt more secure and like a safe space with like colleagues and not a huge space of people I'll never see again. So I really enjoyed that, and I thought it just worked out way better than I ever imagined it to be.
So in about 16, 17 years ago, around the year 2005, I became familiar with a lady by the name of Dr. Janet Kenney. She was the director of the MSU Mount Sterling campus, and she came to one of our social work faculty meetings, and she asked the faculty if we would consider bringing our social work program to Mount Sterling's campus. So we said yes, we would take our social work program to the Mount Sterling campus. Dr. Kenney said, if you all build it, they will come.
When I first came here with Dr. Janet Kenney, I taught adult education. I taught non-traditional education in the fundamentals of speech. And I taught nighttime classes. But since then, it has changed into now I am doing the dual credit with Eagle Scholars through Montgomery County High School. But back to Dr. Kenney. I met Dr. Kenney in the year 2000 when I was a student. And she was my very first professor, and I will never forget her, never forget what she did for me.
You know, we've seen 20 years, and I think we are committed, Morehead State is committed for another 20 years, and I see that as an opportunity to expand and continue to serve not only educationally, but contributing economically and culturally to this region.